Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are in the world. So, 3, 2, 1, my cheese, little lads. Thank you, little lads. You're delicious and bright. Yeah, got my angel top on today, my delicious little babies are kind. Because there are some angels in the world, you know what I mean? You know, like I say, you got good and bad in everyone, my delicious little babies. Now then, so it's quite dull today in our old England. At nearly 11:45 in the morning, my delicious little babies. It's a tiny bit windy, but it's actually rather warm. So I've got my shorts on as well, my delicious little babies. Okay, I try to wear my shorts as much as I can, my delicious little babies. You know what I mean? Because I get too hot. Otherwise, I mean, I come out the shower this morning and I felt like I needed another flipping shower. Do you know what I mean? It's just the sweat was just pumping off me. You know what I mean? But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. At least we can save on the flipping gas, can't we, Martin? The stuck babies anyway. Not to worry. Not to worry. So I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 bits of information for you today, my delicious little babies, and I'm hoping that you're going to be liking this. And wherever you are in the world, I hope that life and the weather is treating you most deliciously. Okay, so I've got some, I feel, some banging videos today, my delicious little babies. Now, ones who know about the financial world, you may know about the one that I'm going to mention, my delicious little babies, but for others of our delicious little babies, you may not know all the proper ins and outs, my delicious little babies. Anyway, it's a banging video. I'm nearly at the end of it. And I've just really, there we are, enjoyed it. It's one of those videos where, to be honest with you, I could, there we are, listen to it twice, my delicious little babies, okay? So it's not like myself. So if I listen to something 3 times now, there we are, then that's Van Dabby Dursey. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Mind you know, seeing as my life number's number 5, you know, sometimes I can, you know, very rarely, of course, very rarely, listen to something doesn't mean my delicious little babies 5 times. Okay, my delicious little babies now then. So let's kick off, shall we? As the old-fashioned saying goes, you know, because a lot goes on in football, doesn't it, my delicious little babies? Now then, so I'll save the one that I want to talk about until last, my delicious little babies. Okay, so the first one, and just to let you know, sorry, before I proceed with what I'm saying, my video was done yesterday, and then it never uploaded until 8:21 this morning, my delicious little babies. So it was an awful lot of hours for my video to upload, and nobody can tell myself that it's because of my internet or because of me, because it's not. Okay, my delicious little babies. So at the end of the day, I just thought I'd let you know that, okay? But I did do my video yesterday. Okay, my delicious little babies. So, and this is today's. Okay, my delicious little babies. So this is in the old space bar, in old YouTube, my delicious little babies, because they're all on YouTube, okay? Capital A, Andrew, because, you know, this is the uploader, and with anybody not in that way, not in that way. Andrew, space, capital G, gold. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, this uploader happens to have 21.4 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. And the video should read, and by the way, this is over 7.5 minutes long, my delicious little babies, so it's not a long video at all, okay? And this is to do with a little Cornish town, my delicious little babies, and it should read, inside the British town that said no to illegal immigrants. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Inside the British town that said no to illegal immigrants. Okay, my delicious little babies, yes. And then there was one on there, actually. There was a couple, and the man who's Australian, my delicious little babies, he said, well, what should be done here to do with the illegal immigrants is to, just sort of all be put on one island, my delicious little babies. You see, you're hearing the different, there we are, the different views. Okay, my delicious little babies, like they've got in this little video, because it's a lovely little town, and they've got this, absolutely fantastic and beautiful hotel. Okay, Marsdalishlik babies. So where others, shall we say, and in old England, Marsdalishlik babies have caved in. That's an old-fashioned saying, Marsdalishlik babies, okay? And of course, allowed others to take over these posh hotels, because it's all about ching, ching, ching. So once you're in it, there we are. The likelihood of getting out of it is between slim and non-Marsdalishlik babies, okay? No matter what the putrid government says, okay? As we have seen, there we are very clearly. There is plenty of footage on it. There is plenty of videos on the internet to do with this Marsdalishlik babies. But what was happening in this video is that your man there was interviewing just, little, mankind, bless them, who live and thrive, in their little town, Marsdalishlik babies, okay? So everybody seems to have a different view on things, okay? But you'll also be surprised in this video that, one woman said, bless her, she said, well, it's not that their fault, crossing, she said it's misguidance. There we are. And I totally, there we are, agree with that. Somebody else said, what did they say? Something along the lines of something about if they've got so many grands, to hop onto one of these boats in the first place, well, they're not in not a bad way, Marsdalishlik babies. That's not the exact words, but you'd need to listen to the little video, Marsdalishlik babies. Well, of course, no, this is all, there we are, ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense. Now, do you understand what I mean, Marsdalishlik babies, okay? But the fact of the matter is, okay, because we see no end of it on the internet, there's always something, they say illegal immigrants are doing this wrong, they're doing that wrong. The fact of the matter is, Marsdalishlik babies, okay, so like I've always said, you get good and bad, there we are, in everybody, okay? But for most, all that they want to do is just live. That's it, Marsdalishlik babies, end of. Do you know what I mean? Okay? But in reality, nobody should need to leave their country, not for anything. Do you know what I mean? Like I've said previously on other videos, unless either it's for business reasons or maybe they've met somebody, who's of a different nationality to themselves, and they're falling in love, when I fall in love, it will be forever. One of those moments, Marsdalishlik babies, do you know what I mean? But other than that, there should be no reason why somebody else should have to leave their countries, Marsdalishlik babies. But as we all very well know, there we are. The one reason is ka-ching, 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 do you know what I mean? And it's everything else that goes on in between, Marsdalishlik babies. There we are, if you follow what I'm saying. Very interesting little video that was. Anyway, but for myself, we could talk about this until I come home now. Do you understand what I mean? But the fact of the matter is that, to me, it's all, there we are, ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense. Some will take the ka-ching, the poison, and others will not. So bless this little town now, this little Cornish town, Marsdalishlik babies, do you know what I mean? Okay, some will just say no. It's like, if you look at it, is it in, there was another one, please don't quote me on this, I need to try and find that video again. I mean, for some of you will know Marsdalishlik babies, but for others, you will not know. But, there's another one, I don't know if it's Austria or is it Switzerland. Anyway, so please do not quote me. I need to find the video again, Marsdalishlik babies, okay? Write it down, because I never wrote it down. And they will not let in any illegal immigrants. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? So what is the point to what I'm saying? There we are. Before I even say it, you can say no. That doesn't mean no. You can say no, but if one's choose to say yes, well, do you see what I'm saying? This is why that doesn't mean no. Gosh, I've got itchy skin this morning, Marsdalishlik babies, today. It isn't ourselves in our countries. It's who's running the countries, very sadly, or they call it so-called running the countries, Marsdalishlik babies, you know what I mean? Who are causing, there we are, these problems. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, it's nobody else who's to blame. It's certainly not ourselves. But then we go down the road of, it's racism, it's this, it's that. To myself, Marsdalishlik babies, it's like a stuck record. that's how all of this comes across to my side. It's just a stuck record, mad little babies, you know what I mean? So once there we are, once to the ins and outs of this, there we are, the proper ins and outs. Then what we need to really get our noddles around is that in one way or another, we are all, there we are, in the same boat. There we are, in one way or another, mad little babies. See, my spirit's really strong today, mad little babies. You know what I mean? Well, they're strong every day, but when I say certain things, you see what I mean? So the next one, mad little babies, okay? Ah, bless him. So this is our lovely Neil, capital N, Neil, space, McCoy, capital M, and then small c, large C, O, Y, and then space Ward, W-A-R-D. Okay, mad little babies on old YouTube in the space bar. Should anybody happen to have any form of an interest. This video is it 29 minutes something long. And yeah, I've long time, there we are, advertised Neil McCoy Ward, bless him, and his dear little wife. You know, oh, they're a lovely little couple. You know what I mean? For most who I well, for all of them actually, who I advertise, you know what I mean? They're all beautiful little couples together. There we are, they really are. Do you understand what I mean, Martin? Little babies, okay? I just believe, there we are, you should have more of that. You know what I mean? Okay, so they can do joined videos, there we are, and everything together. Do you see what I mean? Okay, you know, it's really lovely, isn't it, to be able to, you know, share the same thing. Do you see what I mean? Mad little vibes. Anyway, so Neil now, bless him, is now up to 510,000 subscribers. Mad little babies. And the video should read, "Jobs shock as the mass layoffs have begun." Oh yes, mad little babies, there we are. Oh yes. Okay, so I'll just repeat that again for you, shall I? Job shocks as the mass layoffs have begun. Now, what Neil is talking about on this video, mad little babies, and what it is, there we are, he's another one, long time, there we are, warning others. Okay, mad little babies, okay, so he's another one, bless him. Is little Neil, bless him, okay? And when I say little, okay, I do not mean little as in somebody is little, okay? But I have, when I sent a comment, you know, who is it to? Our lovely, not in that way, not in that way, our lovely Richard Verbs and his lovely little wife to be Julia. I have received a couple of comments back, you know, saying, you know, that Julia is not little. Well, I never meant it that way. And you know what? I'm not even going to be done, you know, not in literal terms, firing back at them mad little babies, because I wouldn't like my mouth now, because I can run my mouth. Do you know what I mean? They can tappy, 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 tappy. Well, I can run my mouth too. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes? So that's why I'm not shouting at you, mad little babies, but this is a state of some's, there we are, sadly, noddles. They do not see when somebody is wanting to be nice or to say something nice. If somebody calls me little Carla, I just think, there we are, I just think that that's very sweet, actually. There we are, you know what I mean? So somebody who's taller than myself or even smaller than myself, they call me little Carla. I've had that said to myself. Do I get damn offended? No, I do not. What is a damn silliness now? It's damn silliness and it's rank, man. And this kind of shit, there we are, should stop. Because I do not mean anything by it at all. But why should I have to feel a need to keep repeating my damn self? Do you see what I mean? I should not have to. This is ones, you know, that tappy, 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 tappy. Do you know what I mean? On the little keyboards. Do you know what I mean? Well, I tell you what, if they met me to my boat race, I'm not inciting anything. I'll be done telling them the way it is. And they wouldn't like my mouth. Do you see what I mean? Okay? But it pees me off, you know what I mean, when you're just sending a pleasant comment, because I'm having to step back to sending other comments. I'll get back to it. Do you understand what I mean, Martin? Little babies, we're certain, but there's others who I've unsubscribed to because I'm just not believing the bullshit anymore, Martin. Little babies. Anyway, so that's that. But yeah, it's just things that really irritate myself. Do you understand what I mean, Martin? Babies. Oh, and you know, when I received that comment, you know, oh, I need, okay? Well, we thought that was the last of it. But no, they then send me another comment, another message, Martin Babies. So they want to know why. Why? You know, I do not want to up my numbers from our subscribers, Martin babies. They just simple things cannot understand. Well, really, I could be, there we are, really down to the point, but I'm not even going to go there. Do you know what I mean? So the best thing for myself was just to be polite, really. Do you know what I mean? Martinishtic babies, okay? You see, they're used to one's pandering, to go, oh, yes, yes, so what do I need to do? Oh, I need to learn to optimise and I need to learn to... No. I do not need to do anything. Nobody needs to be damn well telling me to do anything now. And I'm not happy to do it. Like I said, I believe, there we are, less is more. So I very much respect and appreciate my subscribers. Of course I do. Do I want thousands more? No, I do not. That is just my choice, Martin. I do it as a hobby. So I'm not going to be roped into doing this now then, looking at your poxy stats. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is where ones, there we are, walk straight into things now. There we are. Mardelishlik babies, do you see what I mean? Well, I'm not going to be one of them. So I'm pretty sure that they can go and help somebody else on one of their channels to help to make their channels better. Do you know what I mean? In some way, you know, if they want ka-ching, ching, you know what I mean? Let them have the opportunity. I'm happy the way that I am. Thank you very much. And as long as I'm doing this as a hobby, I continue to show my very good side of myself, my delicious little babies. There we are. And I'm just done saying it. Do you see what I mean? So I'd rather that they really never sent me any more comments, because on the next one, I'm just not going to respond at all. Simple things. I'm just not going to respond. I'm done telling them twice. That's enough, isn't it? So anyway, Neil McCoy Ward, getting back to little Neil now, okay? Bless him and bless his dear little wife. Yes, okay, so they were marvellous. There we are, team together, okay? Martelish babies. And that's how you should be, okay? For any couples in the world. He's talking about Microsoft has laid off, you know, so many thousands, is it over 7,000 or something, Martelish babies. Like I said, you know, on another one of my videos, you know, they do not like, you know, the number 7s and the number 8s. There we are. Do you know what I mean? Martelish babies, yes. I've known, there we are, long times. There we are, long times. Do you know what I mean? Martelish babies. I do not know everything, no. But I know, there we are, enough to know at this point in time. There we are, Martelish babies, okay? And what Neil is talking about, just to put you into the picture very briefly, is that it's now going from the white collars to the blue and white collars, Martelish babies, okay? So this is a case of, you know, to find, you know, job roles that one would be much more happier in. I mean, some will say that they do not want to do that, or in dear little Neil's case where he's talking about that somebody said, oh, you know, well, I'm not going to be, you know, in the comments or whatever, I'm not going to be clean, not in those comments, but you know what I mean, probably in the past, oh, I'm not going to be cleaning drains or something. Do you know what I mean? Well, somebody's got to clean them. Just like somebody's got to pick the fruits and the vegetables. So somebody's got to do it, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? But, you know, I've thought, there we are, for years. You see, ones get brought into the world, some martyrdom bags, okay? So they get brought into the world and it's like, oh, yes, you know, you've got to grow up, you've got to work in an office, you've got to do you understand what I mean? Being stuck behind a screen all day. Well, we've all been there. I've been there myself, martyrdom babies, okay? So I can speak, there we are, for myself, okay? And some enjoy their job role. But if you ask most, and I have, there we are, over the years, martyrdom babies, they're not alike in their job. Do you know what I mean? Because they're stuck in an office, there we are, all day long, looking behind the screen. The only time when they can get up is to go and have a little break, and then they've got to, you know, have a, I don't know, squeeze of a little bit of fresh air, you know. Well, it's not even fresh, is it, Martelish babies? You know, we're just having to right now. I'm sure that there we are, things will change now then, do you know what I mean? The more the ones are waking up, Martelish babies, there we are, yes, okay. But then, you know, they have that squeeze of air and then they've got to go back in, Martelish babies, you know what I mean? And that is working 9 to 5. Do you know what I mean? Martelish babies. So what little Neil is saying, bless him, is that, you know, to try to move towards, there we are, something else. Amazon's laid off, what did he say? 1,000 and something. Anyway, maadlichtig babies. So, you know, and of course, you know, there's a lot of mellow yellow, you know, and I got mellow yellow. You know what I mean? Maadlichtig babies. Anyway. So, and do you remember, well, for those of you who watch my videos all the time, so thank you for any views, for any likes, and for the occasional comments. Was it going to be a couple of years ago now when I sang on one of my videos, we all live in the yellow submarine, the yellow submarine, the yellow submarine. Do you know what I mean? Martin babies, yes. So yeah, so you know, dear little Neil, bless him. There we are. He's just, you know, warning for what is coming. Well, it's already started. And this is to do with AI. Now, when I've talked to others to do with AI, I'm not going to say everybody. No, I'm not going to say everybody, but I will say for most, they're just not interested at all. They're not interested in anything that I've got to say. They're totally, there we are, in my opinion, not being nasty, just done telling the truth. They are very switched off from it. Okay, maardlish little babies, but not realising there we are what's coming down the path. Maardlish little babies, do you know what I mean? Well worth a listen to our lovely little Neil McCoy Ward, maardlish little babies, yes. Anyway, maardlish little babies, there are others who are talking about it, okay? There we are, you know, who are keeping as well as they can up to date with what they can, because there's just so much that's been thrown at everybody. It's just unreal, maardlish babies, you know what I mean? Okay, you may not be able to see it literally, okay, but it's like for many, there we are, it's mentally. Do you know what I mean? And of course, I'm taking the jobs. And if you remember what I said a while back, maardlish babies, whoever was listening, when I was talking about even in our old England and Brumland, you know, they're going to be removing 200 and at that time 250 job centres, maardlish babies. Okay, so they want ones to go and get a job, but then they're getting rid of the job centres, maardlish babies. Do you see what I'm saying? You've got to see, there we are, how this is rocking and rolling. Okay, maardlish babies. Now, next one. So we'll go down here. Right, so this one here is called... oh yeah, this came up on my feed, maardlish babies. In the old space bar in old YouTube, maardlish babies. I think this is this 20... It's either 24 minutes long, maardlish babies over, or 29 minutes long. It's one or the other. Okay, maardlish babies. Capital B, build, I'm going to spell it out for you, maardlish babies. BURLD. So it's only one B, which is the capital. The rest is lowercase, maardlish babies, okay? In older YouTube. This uploader, just going over the dots. This uploader happens to have 26.5 thousand subscribers, maardlish little babies, okay? And the video should read, okay? Because that's the uploader builder. Okay, maardlish little babies. Then they've got other videos on there. Okay, maardlish little babies. It should read China's digital yuan. Is it yuan or yuan? Yuan, because it's a Y. Why? Okay, maardlish little babies. Yuan experiment failing. Citizens reject state money. Panic grows. Okay, my delicious little baby. So I'm just going to repeat this again for you, shall I? China's digital yuan experiment failing. Citizens reject state money. Panic grows. Okay, my delicious little babies. Yes. So what's happening now with this video? It sounds fun that we are to myself. Okay, there's a woman talking. So, you know, but you would need to make of that as what you will, maardlish babies. But it appears that what the China, what they seem to have been sold is not quite what they're receiving, maardlish little babies. Now, there's been myself and there's been many other uploaders, bless their dear little souls, there we are, who've also been talking about this, okay, maardlish little babies, and they're trying to do it in old England, and they're trying to do it in Born in the USA, you know what I mean? Trying to, there we are, get away with what they can now, okay? But not telling the truth. that once there we are in this digital system, there we are basically locked in. There we are. And there's no way out. And that is why now there seems to be a change of, let's just say, of mood. It appears, there we are, my delicious little babies are. Now, on that same channel, because there was another video that came up on the same channel, my delicious little babies, this is to do with, they call them shopping malls, we call them centres, okay, my delicious little babies. Well, and you got all these posh shops and, well, they call it posh, don't they, my delicious little babies, and how what was that other video where things are starting to empty? Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Very interesting little video to listen to. There we are, my delicious little babies, because ones that there we are starting to wake up now then and realise there we are that they've been lied to. There we are, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay, it's not there to protect us. It's not there to, because we find these words, don't we? Be kind. Keep you safe. Everything we do is to keep you safe. So they spy on you left, right, and centre. Cameras effing everywhere, right, my delicious little babies? But this is to keep us safe. Okay, my delicious little babies? No, it is not to keep us safe. Okay, my delicious little babies? This is to take over, there we are, our lives, there we are, completely. So that we do not have any privacy whatsoever. And that means that we are in any way, shape or form, my delicious little babies. They do not want us to have any privacy. They do not want ones to earn their own ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. They do not want that either, my delicious little babies. They want full, there we are, control. But it makes myself wonder why ones, there we are, would go to these lengths if they were so super duper happy themselves. Because I've got nothing across my shoulders. See, I stumbled there for the right reasons. I've got nothing across my shoulders telling me that whoever is behind all of this, okay, because you know that you've got ones, then you've got ones, then you've got other ones, haven't you, my delicious little babies, that they are in any way, shape or form happy, my delicious little babies, because if somebody has to go into somebody else's life and see what everybody's doing, this is telling myself that something, there we are, is extremely wrong, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. Anyway, well worth a listen of that video as well. My delicious little babies, like I said, I've got some very good banging videos. There we are today, my delicious little babies, Now, finally, this is the one I wanted to get to, okay? And I do not know how long my video is going to take to upload today, my delicious little babies. I've no idea. It'll probably take another, 18 whatever hours or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean, okay? Because, like I say, YouTube is making, there we are, it's, there we are, very difficult for myself, okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm very lucky if I receive a small number of views, really, okay, my delicious little babies. The occasional ones, it might go up to, about 40 or something like this now then, but you know what I mean, but usually, no, I'm lucky if I get 5 or 6 views, my delicious little babies. So that's all right. Who's meant to see will see. There we are. And who's meant to hear will hear. Do you see what I mean? There we are. That's what I have to say. They're my delicious little babies. So they're not going to get the better of myself. They may think that they are. Do you know what I mean? Okay? But no. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, no. You see, the way I see it is just joining the dots. You know what I mean? If I wasn't saying anything of any substance, of any truth, then they wouldn't be doing what they're doing to myself, my delicious little babies. To myself, it's ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, finally, this uploader happens to have 1.21 million subscribers, my delicious little babies, so rather a large one on old YouTube, my delicious little babies. This video is just over 1 hour long, my delicious little babies, and it is called Meconomy. Oh, I feel like I've swallowed a dictionary, my delicious little babies. Meconomy. I'm just going to spell that out for you, my delicious little babies. Capital M, O-C-O-N for November, O for Oscar, M for Mother, Y for Yankee. Okay, my delicious little babies. Meconomy. Okay, my delicious little babies. It's actually a word I can flipping pronounce for a change, my delicious little babies. Now then, before I say I need to have a sip of my cup of coffee. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Please and thank you. Just a couple of sips. I'll go through flipping coffee, man, like nobody's business, you know what I mean? I just love it. You know what I mean? If they stuck me on an island, well, I would have to, you know, have it delivered to myself, the coffee. Do you know what I mean? One thing I cannot live without is my coffee. Do you know what I mean? I do not ask a lot. I just like my coffee. Do you know what I mean? It's a delicious drink to have. Okay. So when I see other videos or read upon other things, oh, you know, coffee's crap for you, coffee's this, coffee's that. You know what I mean? If you was not to listen to anything, because that's the best thing to do, just not to listen. Because at the end of the day, you know what you want for your own body, you know what you want to eat, and you know what you want to drink. If you used to listen to everything what one says, so-called experts, well, I do not believe there's any experts. Nobody's an expert. Mardslish babies, I cannot stand that word. Cannot abide it. The fact is, you wouldn't eat or drink anything Mardslish babies, okay? You'd be scared to have a wash. You'd be scared to do everything Mardslish babies. Do you know what I mean, okay? Some just like to give you a flipping, there we are, little frat. Do you understand what I mean? They get the kicks out of doing videos like that, Mardslish babies. Anyway, so this video should read Mardslish babies. Like I said, it's just over an hour long, well worth a watch. Now, to anybody in the financial world, they will already know this, okay? So this does not apply to you, Mardslish babies. It applies to Mardslish babies, once again, who do not know. Okay, Mardslish babies. Should read asset laundering in the UK. Well, we're not the UK, we're not Britain, we are England, Mardslish babies, okay? Crime, but that's what it says here. Crime under the crown. The corruption capital of the world. Yes, Mardslish babies. So I'm just going to read that out again for you, shall I? Asset laundering in the UK. Crime under the crown. The corruption capital of the world. Now then, Mardslish babies, now I'm going to close my book and we must remember there we are to go back to where we need to go back to. Mardslish babies, now then. So let's have a discussion. That doesn't mean no. Well, my video, at the end of the day, nothing should happen to this video because that is already on YouTube, Mardslish babies, what I've just advertised to yourselves, okay? And please, for those of you who are not aware, there we are, you would find this video, there we are, very interesting, okay, Mardslish babies. Now, so many days ago, I did a shorty video, I think I had over 100 views to that, okay, Mardslish babies. Now, there was a red and white stop sign, you know, like in old England, you got a red sign and then like a white, you know, going across, and that means stop. Okay, Mardslish babies can't, or it's no entry, so you can't go that way. Sorry, Mardslish babies, because stop is stop, and that means, you know, no entry that way. So it means, you know, you cannot drive down that part of the road. Okay, so you can go left, but you cannot go right because otherwise you're going to, you know, very sadly, I'm sure that there has been a few incidences where, you know, one car's coming this way and the other one's going the wrong way, and then before you know it, crash. Do you know what I mean? Mardslish babies. But it was right next to a large tree. Now, I happened to be watching this video, Mardslish babies, this morning that I've just advertised to yourself. Now, we're getting towards the end of the video now. And it was just so bizarre what I saw. The exact same sign, and then there's like a tree here. Do you see what I mean? Mardslish babies, kind. Now, prior to that, I had not seen this video at all, and this video was only uploaded a day ago. Mardslish babies, kind. But it's just interesting that point in the video, Mardslish babies. Do you know what I mean? Where you've got that sign, and then you've got the, you know, the tree here. Do you see what I mean? Mardslish babies. Anyway. So, of course, that same little video could also stand for, you know, at the end of the day, maybe for somebody as tall as what they are, maybe there's just no entry. Do you understand what I mean? Mardslish babies, yeah. So you know what I mean? It could have a number of meanings. It's how anybody would wish to interpret it for themselves, Mardslish babies, with that short video that I did anyway. So this video here, yeah. Now the thing is, I tried to get interviews with certain different, okay. They could never get an interview. Now so far, the only one, bless, who would give an interview, there we are, was our lovely, not in that way, like I say with anybody, our lovely Imran Khan. He was, you know, quite happy. There we are, to, you know, to allow whoever it was to interview him. Okay, Madelistic babies, and he's very, very are truthful with what he says. It's not long, Madelistic babies. It's not a long part, but bless him. Okay. In this video, there appears to be a lot to do with is a lot to do with England, Pakistan. Is it Kenya? Kenya is involved here. My delicious little babies, okay. But yeah, but it's very true. It's amazing what ones will do. There we are, to keep their wealth. You know, all of their ching ching ching. You see what I mean? At the expense, there we are, of everybody else. Anybody who, you know, is in comparison to themselves poor, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay. And you know, it is said that, you know, that ka-ching, change, pound, shilling, pence, dollars, and change should be returned. There we are, to their countries. Well, there we are. Well, I've known this long time, my delicious little babies. There we are, and I totally agree with that, because then you wouldn't have the poverty. You wouldn't have all the problems that you know, that have come with this laundering, my delicious little babies. You know what I mean? But well worth a watch. There we are, of this video. I'm going to finish listening to the last part of it. I've just got to upload my video to yourselves, my delicious little babies. But yeah, well worth a listen to this video, my delicious little babies. And of course, they start out by saying at the beginning, you know, that journalists or whoever ask questions, okay, there we are, it's like they that's just my wording, not theirs. It's like you know, they'll sort of go for them. Do you understand what I mean, Martin? Baby, so anyone who's true, there we are, who does do true, there we are, journalism, these are not a larking, Martin babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay. And you know, there's other things that happen, you know, when you ask too many questions, it appears that you disappear. Very sadly, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? Or if you go to say something now that somebody else doesn't like, you're saying, do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? Yes. That's why, just to end my video, my delicious babies, that's why when these ones go into these jobs now, do you know what I mean? Well, basically, what they do not realise, unless they come from a family already of lying, barefaced liars, politicians, marginalistic babies, unless they're already in that family. Do you know what I mean? Well, then they know what you know, what is expected of them. You know, they go and get all of their qualifications at these posh universities and everything, what they call posh, by the way, marginalistic babies. And you know, then they know what their role is to enrich themselves. There we are. It's just a barefaced lie every day of the week. Like, you know, they were interviewing. There's a Pakistani man on there, Martinish babies, and what did he say? He never liked being that little bit of, you know, what he was asked. Okay, Martinish babies, okay. So do forgive me. That was another one. And where was he living? In Mayfair. Okay, Mardelistic babies, and he was saying he was renting the property, Mardelistic babies car. And he said, well, it's not my fault that I was born into a rich family. But yet he was still, there we are, sticking up for, do you know what I mean? He knows. There we are. You'll know when you watch the video, Mardelistic babies, but he was not a larking one bit. Being asked, there we are, those questions. No, he was not. Do you see what I mean? Okay, but there's himself and there's our lovely dear Imran Khan. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, bless our dear Imran Khan, you know, and please, you know, that he can be released, you know, to back to some way of, you know, whatever our definition of normal is, Mardelistic babies. Anyway, so that's the end of my video. Okay, Mardelistic babies. So, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunny, sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected. Please take care of yourselves now, and please try to take care of others. And no matter how bonkers, crackers, and crazy this world is, what we need to do is just, there we are, world is smile and good vibrations. Okay, I'm off to go make something to eat now, my little lovelies. Okay, so much love. Thank you once again for listening. How I love you all so. You're so beautiful, wonderful, and delicious, and I love you. So until the next time, take care. Have a beautiful time wherever you are. Goodbye.